how does somebody in your experience of life, what type of advice would you offer to somebody who wants to have a relationship with a mushroom and live a psychedelic life and doesn't want to become batshit crazy? Because these things can confuse us and get us, I mean, internet is a big contributor here, get us wrapped up in these weird sort of like these ideological echo chambers that are ultimately seem delusional from the outside. I mean, maybe they're true or something, but how does somebody live a life with the mushroom and live a life inspired by their encounters there without basically turning themselves into a confused person?
I think the dangers are real, and I think that ultimately is what my book is about, because I had to make sure I didn't go crazy. And the first step for me was, one, realizing I was going off the rails a little bit, and that I think there's a romance phase with psychedelics, and then you got to recognize when you're out of the romance phase and the mushrooms are testing you. So seeking community, that was when I connected with Kai Wingo, and she invited me to Cleveland, and I met Annie Oak, and I think that was huge, even though I'm not the kind of person who calls people every day. Just to know people are out there and be able to just tune in helps a lot. And then there's a thing that I call the buffalo problem in my book, which was I came to an impasse in my tripping where I was like, something's wrong here. And I realized, for me, everybody's going to have their own buffalo problem. But it comes down to, like, if you see a buffalo in psychedelic space, how do I have the right to call it a buffalo? Is it a buffalo? Am I killing this buffalo just by, like, labeling it buffalo? What am I supposed to do with this buffalo? Am I supposed to go on a big old trip about a buffalo, or should I just be receptive and try to be zen about it and, like, not try to control things? And that just about drove me crazy. I stopped doing psychedelics for about 3 months, maybe more, and I just read a lot of philosophy. Like, it made me have to recognize that I think we think like we are all philosophical people, right? But do you really know what you think? Like, what is your philosophy? And most people, including myself, are like, well, kind of goes back to when I was maybe 20 years old. I started thinking this and that. I realized I didn't really think very hard about it back then either. So, I just sort of thought I thought something, but I didn't really think it through. So I had to deepen my philosophy. And the person that helped me a lot was a guy, Peter Kingsley, who wrote a book called Reality. And he goes back to the pre-Socratic Greeks. And I was like, that's the one thing that, like, I relate to, which is it's kind of a jazz. Like, I guess the way we were a long time ago was you kind of walked with your 5 senses, and the truth was a dance. And so even though I can't, articulate like, Peter Kingsley, philosopher, can exactly what he was saying, it really helped me. And after that, I was able to go in psychedelic space and not cling or freak out that I was doing it the wrong way. I had a bigger flow. So I think a lot of people just need to work out their buffalo problem. And that means, I read like James Baldwin, I went to fiction texts. I thought really hard. I was like the thinker with the fist on my head for like 3 months.
Do you think that's great? I actually, I made a mental note to harvest the name of that Reality book later when I'm doing the
he's amazing.